The Bering Air Flight was routine, a short hop across the Alaskan wilderness. The Cessna 208B Grand Caravan, a workhorse in these unforgiving landscapes, carried 9 passengers and a pilot. They were expected to land in Nome, their arrival a blip on the radar of a community used to the rhythms of small planes coming and going, just disappeared off the radar at 5,700 feet altitude, going 137 miles per hour. The last confirmed contact placed the aircraft over the Norton Sound, a cold expanse of water 12 miles from the expected touchdown. It was 12:16 a.m. local time, February 6, 2025. The plane at that point became a ghost, swallowed by brewing storm clouds. The news, when it reached Nome, was met with a grim acceptance. This is Alaska, after all, a place where nature's power is respected, even feared. The vastness of the terrain, the capriciousness of the weather, it all breeds a certain fatalism. But there was also hope, a flicker of it at least, kept alive by the tireless efforts of search and rescue teams. They knew the odds, knew that time was their enemy, but they also knew that miracles, however improbable, do happen. The families of those on board clung to this sliver of hope, their anguish amplified by the agonizing wait for news. A family center was set up, a place of shared grief and quiet prayers. Every hour that passed brought fresh waves of despair, yet they held on, refusing to let go of the belief that their loved ones might still be found. The community of Nome, bound by shared experience and the harsh realities of life on the edge, rallied around the families, offering what solace they could in the face of such unbearable uncertainty. The search area was daunting. A swathe of icy water whipped by winds that howled like banshees. Light snow, driven horizontally by the gale, reduced visibility to almost nothing. The freezing drizzle, coating everything in a treacherous layer of ice, only added to the treacherous conditions. The Bering Sea in the depths of winter is unforgiving at the best of times. Today, it was showing its teeth, a roaring beast determined to thwart the efforts of those who dared to venture onto its domain. The Coast Guard, veterans of countless rescues in these unforgiving waters, deployed a HC-130, its sophisticated search equipment a beacon of hope in the gathering gloom. The National Guard and Air Force, their C-130s, straining against the wind, joined the search, their crews battling fatigue and the elements in equal measure. On the ground, the Nome Volunteer Fire Department, their faces grim but resolute, combed the shoreline, their efforts hampered by the treacherous conditions. Every passing hour brought fresh challenges, the fading light a constant reminder of the ticking clock. The weather, far from abating, seemed to worsen, the wind howling its defiance, as if mocking the puny efforts of those who dared to challenge its dominion. The search teams, their faces etched with the strain of their ordeal, knew that time was their enemy. But they pushed on, their determination fueled by a mixture of professional pride and a deep-seated empathy for those who waited, their hopes hanging by a thread. The first rays of dawn, filtering through the snow-laden clouds, brought with them a renewed sense of urgency. The rescue teams, their faces etched with fatigue but their resolve unbroken, prepared to resume their grim task. The C-130s, their engines a comforting drone in the stillness of the morning, took to the skies once more, their crews scanning the vast expanse of the Bering Sea for any sign of the missing aircraft. On the ground, the search parties fanned out, their every step a testament to their unwavering commitment. The FBI, their technological prowess, adding a much-needed dimension to the search, worked tirelessly to analyze radar data and attempted to geolocate the passengers' cell phones. It was a long shot, they knew, but in the absence of any concrete leads, even the smallest glimmer of hope was enough to keep them going. The families of the missing, their faces drawn and pale with anxiety, waited for news, their every thought consumed by the fate of their loved ones. They drew strength from each other, from the shared bond of their ordeal, and from the unwavering support of the community that had rallied around them. As the day wore on, the initial optimism began to wane, replaced by a gnawing sense of dread. The weather, as if toying with the emotions of those involved, remained stubbornly uncooperative, the wind and snow conspiring to frustrate the efforts of the search teams. The C-130s, their fuel gauges nearing empty, were forced to return to base, their crews frustrated but undeterred. The ground teams, their progress hampered by the treacherous conditions, trudged on, their determination fueled by a mixture of duty and compassion. The wait for news, agonizing at the best of times, became unbearable as the minutes turned into hours. The families of the missing, their initial hope now replaced by a numbing despair, clung to each other for support, their faces etched with the pain of their ordeal. The community of Nome, their collective heart heavy with empathy, did what they could to provide comfort and support. Food and supplies were donated, vigils were held, and prayers were offered in churches and homes across the town. The search, though now officially a recovery operation, continued unabated. The Coast Guard, their resolve unshaken by the daunting task at hand, maintained a constant presence in the area, their cutters braving the unforgiving seas. The Air Force and National Guard, their crews operating on minimal sleep and fueled by a deep sense of purpose, continued their aerial patrols, their eyes scanning the vast expanse below for any sign of the missing aircraft. The Bering Air tragedy, a stark reminder of the capricious nature of fate and the unforgiving power of the Alaskan wilderness, cast a long shadow over the community of Nome. Yet, amidst the grief and uncertainty, there was also a profound sense of resilience, a determination to honor the memory of those lost by continuing to live and thrive in the face of dangerous Alaska. The search for the missing Cessna, though unlikely to provide the outcome everyone hoped for, stands as a testament to the enduring human spirit, to the unwavering dedication of those who risk their lives to save others, and to the unbreakable bonds of community that sustain us in times of crisis. Our thoughts and prayers are with those affected by this tragedy. Thanks for watching Trend Destiny. Subscribe for more videos like this. See you next time, trendsetters.